I'm on a new system, and so hopefully it works. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let me make sure it's connecting on the other end here that's being received. And we're up and running. I'm so happy about that. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, so glad to have this work out. We'll start in just a couple minutes here. Okay, thanks so much for joining. Thank you. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday, actually January 25th, my B day. I'm 61 years old today. So I just came off with Laura, and I just did a Muji retreat for the weekend, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. He just really puts people in their hearts. He walks them to place that place that's the truth of who we are, and in masses of people. I don't know how many people joined the meditation. I'm guessing thousands, but it was just beautiful, and I'm grateful. So thank you for joining this morning, and I was looking forward to this. I actually haven't led a meditation since last Thursday morning, and coming off the Muji retreat, I was just feeling that I wanted to just be a part of this, leading this meditation again, which is so precious to me. So in any case, thank you so much for joining, and let's meditate. So just allowing yourself to be completely comfortable and supported in whatever you're on, your chair, couch, bed, floor, whatever it is. And although you can fall asleep, it's preferred not to. It's really practicing being conscious and aware. And so just taking a nice deep breath in. And just really letting go of any stress, any worries. Just letting go of all the past. This moment right here truly is a new moment. Every moment's a new moment. And we truly also have the possibility of just hitting the reset button. What's past is past. It's done. It's all done. And we don't need to carry it in this meditation, nor do we need to carry it into life itself. And just to remember that life truly is on our side. Yesterday, this weekend, when we were meditating along with Muji, there were so many times that he said, "My grace is with you. My grace is with you. God's grace is with you." And it really affirmed for me that life, God, the universe, it's all on our side. It truly, truly is on our side. And so when I've said in the past that there's not one single hair out of place in the universe, what my teacher Sadashiva had said, I mean that. I feel that. I know that in my heart is all true. And the more I trust and have faith that everything is exactly the way it needs to be, it helps me to flow with life, just to truly, truly flow with it in a way that I'm not fighting against it, in a way that even if my stuff comes up, even if pain or fears or judgment or blame comes up, to know that that is all absolutely perfect. And it's kind of crazy because from the mind's perspective, like we say all the time that, if I want to say people that are on kind of the spiritual path, they'll say, I don't want to judge myself and I don't want to judge others. But there's nothing wrong with judgment unless we're pulled into the mind, the drama of the mind. Because the truth is the mind judges. That's what it does. And it has other functions as well, and it's not bad. There's many good things about the mind. There's nothing evil or bad or wrong about the mind. But if we're using the mind in a dysfunctional way, in a way that we're listening to everything that it says as if it's the truth, as if it's our God and our master and us its slave, then there will be all sorts of problems that can present themselves. Now, I think I feel more and more, not think that I feel this, I do feel this more and more, just this deep sense of gratitude that I still have a judgmental mind, and I don't know that anyone who has who is not transcended the mind, or at least transcended the part of the mind that we're listening to as if it's the truth, the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings, and we're simply going to have this experience of being caught in the judgment. But the judgment in and of itself is not bad or wrong. Only if we're believing it is when the problem arises. So after the retreat happened, I was so immersed in silence, in gratitude, in just this grace from Muji, from God, from life, this beautiful grace that was afforded to me, and I believe everybody that was at the retreat, but it's not limited to people at the retreat for sure. I think we're all afforded with grace if we're simply allowing it in and allowing God to support us. But I think also what's true is that when grace appears, it's here to help us to not only just notice the judgments, but it's actually here to support us, to use the judgments as an awakening, and to actually come to a place of being grateful. Grateful for the judgments, grateful for the thoughts, grateful for the beliefs, knowing that every single one of those things that we're feeling attacked by or challenged by, that it is that exact thing that is here to help us to see where we're holding on to some kind of false illusion. That's all. Every single feeling, thought, belief that we have, that we're feeling challenged by, is here because there is something we're still holding on to as if it's the truth. And that thought, that belief, that feeling is here to help dismantle that truth. That's all. And so we go on this journey of these old false beliefs being dismantled, being torn down, so that all these old beliefs can just be released and let go of, so that the one thing that can never be released and let go of, it remains. And that is you. That is you. That is me. That is our true self. I'm kind of struck right now by, after going through this beautiful retreat, I don't know that I have anything new to share. I truly don't know where this meditation will go, other than just me being 100% honest with you. I would say that for me, as much as I feel grateful, there's also this part of me that feels there's got to be something more than this. And shouldn't I be feeling more joy and bliss? And there was many people at the retreat that expressed joy and bliss. And there were other people that felt the struggle. I don't want to have attachment to anything. And I invite you also right now just to let go of all your attachments of how awakening is supposed to look. And how anything is supposed to look. You know, our attachments come from our mind, because our mind wants something that it thinks will bring us happiness. But as we've said, at best, the mind can only provide temporary joy, temporary peace, temporary love. And it certainly is not the opening to truth, because it's rooted in duality of this is right, this is wrong. And whenever you're rooted in that, you can never see the full picture of truth, because it's always based on opinion. It's based on self-righteousness. And it's okay. We all go through it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the simple question is, do we want to settle for temporary peace, joy, and love? And do we want to settle by listening to the mind and truly being a slave to the mind, because we have made the mind our all-pervading seeing eyes? And again, there's nothing wrong with the mind, but I know that it's not what I want or need. So I do invite you just to let go of all your attachments to how life should unfold. Let go of your attachments to how you think you are supposed to be in the world. Let go of your attachments of what you think happiness looks like. And I really want to say that again. Let go of all your attachments of what you think happiness is supposed to look like. We have to empty out all these old thoughts and beliefs. And the mind might even tell you, of course it's going to tell you probably some of the external things. Most of us go when we get more money, the right job, the right relationship. If I get to travel here and I get to go on vacation, and all these are doing things. And there's nothing bad or wrong with it. Yes, go out and enjoy yourself for sure. But just also remember that all of these doing things are all temporary. What is it that's eternal? What is that eternal peace, that eternal joy, that eternal love, that eternal truth of who you are? And I know, and I know you know, that our heart will never be satisfied until we are fully connected and aligned and are living the truth of who we are. We are that pure beingness, that pure isness that doesn't need one single thing to be happy. It's just that we are that pure beingness that is happiness itself, that is peace and love itself, that is even God itself. We can never get rid of God or separate ourselves from God, no more than we can get rid of ourselves or separate from ourselves. It's so crazy when you think about all these beliefs that we have bought into as to who we have believed ourselves to be. And that's all the personality is. That's the ego, is just all the beliefs that we have taken on over the years to say, this is who I am. From this experience, it tells me that this is who I am. So you do something good, and then you have the thought or belief, the feeling, I'm a good person. And it feels good, and that's great. That's great, wonderful. But we have to move beyond those beliefs of even that I'm loving, I'm wise, or I'm kind. You know, for a while, those thoughts can be, and beliefs can be good. But what happens when we are not those things? Then all of a sudden we're back to judging ourselves again, are we not? Look, I know that ultimately we all want to experience happiness. It's hardwired in every single person, no matter what they are striving for. Success, confidence, peace, joy, love, more money, better job, better relationship. All those things, at the very core of it, people simply want to be happy. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, there's everything right about that. That's good. It's good that we want to be happy, but we can fall short of what happiness means if we are looking to the mind for the answers. And so that's all I'm inviting you for. I'm inviting you to look past the mind, look past anything physical or external, because you will never find it outside of yourself. You know, for so long we've identified with the body, the mind, as to who we are. And we say all these things that we describe ourselves to be. Like I said, we describe ourselves from the emotional perspective. Maybe I'm kind, I'm compassionate, I'm loving, but of course I'm sure there's many things, psychological things in there as well that we're saying, you know, I should be kinder, I should be more compassionate, I should be more loving. And of course, in the mind's eye, you can never ever fully meet up to the expectations of what the mind has, because it'll always say, when you attain something, there will always be something more that you feel you need to attain, and then I'll be happy, and then I'll experience peace, and then I'll experience God when this happens. That when is all in the future. It's just in the future. It's always waiting on something to happen. And from the mind's perspective, it doesn't understand, it cannot understand that the truth of who you are is right here in this very moment. I know, I say that, and the mind's like, well, then why aren't I experiencing that? That's a typical thing. You hear the thought, why aren't I experiencing that? But my question to you is, if you have this thought, why can't I experience the truth of who I am right now in this moment? Who is the one that is aware of that thought? You have the thought that says, why aren't I experiencing the truth of who I am right this moment? How can you who is it, what is it that is aware of that thought? And it doesn't matter what thoughts you have, what experience you have. There is something that is conscious and aware of every thought you have, conscious and aware of a feeling like, I'm feeling frustrated right now because I really do want to be at peace. Who is the one? What is it that is aware that you are frustrated? And we have these labels about our bodies, like I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm old, I'm young, I'm wrinkly, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly. All stories that our mind conjures up based on evidence, supposed evidence that it's gathered, as if it's the truth of who we are. But this body, as we know, will someday pass. What is it that never passes? What is it that's aware of your body right now? And maybe you can smell something, or maybe you hear something, or see something. Any of the five senses, what is it that is aware of your five senses? Maybe you describe this as a good or bad meditation, or it's okay. What is it that's aware of that thought, that belief, that feeling? And does it take anything physical to be aware? Is your body aware of my voice? You say, well, my ears are hearing it. But even if your ears hear it, without some kind of conscious awareness, you would not recognize that it exists. True? Does there not have to be some kind of conscious awareness for anything to exist? There could be a thought, any thought, or somebody could say something. If there's not a consciousness, an awareness of that thought, then how would you know it exists? How would you know your body exists without conscious awareness? You couldn't know that anything exists. Existence would be irrelevant because if you're not conscious and aware of it. So it's not just enough to hear something. It's not just enough to see something. There has to be an awareness that you see it. There has to be an awareness that you hear it, awareness that you taste it, awareness that you think it. And that does not require anything physical. If it did, your experience would be finite. It would be finite because the ears will die. You'll lose your sight when your body passes. When your body passes, you can't get around. What is it that goes beyond the physical? One of the exercises that Muji shared with us that I really like and I'd like to share with you is he calls it the eye watching. And it's this beautiful exercise to help us get in touch with that which we are not. It helps us to get in touch with that which we are not so that we can begin to and continue to release that which we are not, so that the only thing that can remain is that which we are. So the eye watching, throughout the day, you may notice that you say, I am feeling tired. Is it that you are feeling tired, or there's a belief, there's something, and your body might feel tired? But is your body you? Or you might say, I'm feeling frustrated right now. Who is feeling frustrated? Is your core truth feeling frustrated? I'm really sad right now. There might be a feeling of sadness, and that doesn't mean you need to deny it, but it does mean that you don't have to buy into it, that you can see that that is just another thought that you have believed to be true. In other words, the person cuts out in front of you with a car. I'm so angry at this person. Who is angry? Is it you? Because if it is you, who is it? What is it that is aware of that thought, that belief, that feeling? And this exercise helps you to get in touch with all the times that we say I, as if it's the truth of who we are. And I was just noticing earlier, as I was saying, I am cold. Is my true self cold, or is that just another belief that I've taken on? I'm really feeling angry at that comment. Is it me that's feeling angry at that comment? Or is that my mind, my ego, something that I've hooked into as if it's the truth? Right now, I just invite you just to become conscious and aware of your breath. And just notice the breath. Notice that there's nothing you need to do with it. There's no trying, there's no effort required. You're just simply a witness of it, that's all. To practice coming back to the breath, or really just to practice coming back to the moment, the present moment. I see personally that it is the most powerful thing I can do, at least of what I'm aware of right now. The mind gets busy, and I come back to the present moment, come back where truth resides, where I reside, the true isness, the pure beingness of who I am resides. And I'm noticing right now just my mind being a bit busy. I don't know if I'm doing a good job with a meditation this morning. Is that a bad thought? Should I believe that thought? And if I do believe that thought, what will happen? Will there be sadness, disappointment, frustration, anger? Most likely, if I believe that. And that's okay if that experience comes up. It's okay. There's nothing bad or wrong with it. But I'm also saying that there can be not only a better experience, but an experience that is rooted in truth. And that is being a witness to that thought, that belief, that feeling. That's all we're doing. All we're doing is simply practicing conscious awareness, being aware of all of it. And in a nutshell, that is you. You are the one that is a witness to the thoughts, a witness to the feelings, a witness to the beliefs. when you hear the thought that says, I am sad. You are the witness to that feeling, that thought, or even belief. You might believe that you are sad. The more you can just take a step back from that and come back, just right there in that moment, just come back to the breath, come back to the present moment, where you are not dragging the past into it, you're not dragging future worries into it. You're simply right here in this moment as the truth of who you are, which is the witness. Sometimes I have the experience with, I'm just not getting this, I'm feeling frustrated. Truthfully, not very often these days, but I do have those thoughts sometimes. And as soon as I become aware of that, I simply bring myself back to the present moment. And if you want to use the breath, you can do that if you know what it feels like to just be that witness of all of life. And you can come back to that, beautiful. But even just observing the breath is a beautiful way to reconnect you with the witness and the observer, the one who is able to perceive all of life. We have had so many stories that have blocked us from just the pure beingness of who we are, that is here right now, has always been here, and will always be here. And I want to share, because I feel like it's helpful for me and for you, for me to be a living example sometimes. Right now, I'm feeling disconnected. And I just want to acknowledge that thought. Not make it bad or wrong. Not try to push it away. Not try to correct it. Not try to fight it or struggle with it. In fact, the more I can just accept that and then just allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by and come back to the breath, come back to the present moment, it begins to dissipate very quickly, and sometimes immediately. It's only when we fight it and struggle with it that we make it real. Let me say that again. It's only when we fight the thought, fight the feeling, we struggle with it in some way, we're trying to get rid of it, we're analyzing it even, or trying to figure out how to get rid of it. All of these things empower the thought and empower the ego, because it's as if we're making them real. We are making them real, even though they're not real. It certainly can feel real, of course. We're no different, that we all want to just be in our hearts, be in gratitude, be in love. I find sometimes the way for me to do that is to accept when I'm not feeling or experiencing those things, and to let go of my attachments that it needs to be any different than that. I don't know how this thing works. I really don't. I do know that the more I can embrace every thought, every belief, every feeling, then I recognize that life gets easier, and it reconnects me to the present moment of who I am, because you have a choice in every single moment that presents itself to either accept it or reject it. But life has presented itself. Life has presented me feeling disconnected. I can either accept that or I can reject it. If I reject it, there will be this fight and struggle against it. If I can accept it, then I can simply be a witness to it, just to notice it. Not make it bad or wrong, but just allow it to be there and then allow it to also fall away. And really, I say allow it to be there. It's just not resisting it. But as soon as you're aware of it, you can just simply allow it to pass on by. You don't need to do anything with it. Nothing at all. With that said, sometimes I find it helpful to acknowledge the thought, and particularly the feeling. Just to acknowledge it. Oh, okay, I see I'm feeling sad. And there's nothing wrong with that feeling. It's only our judgments about what it means to feel sad. And I'm feeling really angry. Can you just simply notice that? Not make it bad or wrong. Just accept it and then allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by, knowing that you are not that. I don't know where this next part is going. There's a certain intuitive feeling that I have right now that is connected and aligned with the universe, with God. And for me right now, it's not even necessarily a feeling of peace. It's just this simple awareness that it's there. I don't even know why I felt drawn to share that. I will say this. So oftentimes we're guided by looking to our mind for the answers, for the solutions. But this intuitive knowing is always with us and is always here to grace us and support us. It's easy to get in our heads about what we think we should do next, or how am I going to solve this problem, so we look to the mind. I want to be efficient today. How can I get all this stuff done? And so we look to the mind for that. How can I better organize my house? We might look to the mind for that. But there's this beautiful intuitive knowing that knows how to express ourselves, what action to take. It's this beautiful divine flow that has nothing to do with our thinking and everything to do with just being conscious and aware of this energy, this intuition that's flowing within and around us and with God. And in this intuitive knowing, there's this beautiful flow with life, with God, with the universe, where we're not fighting against anything, we're flowing with all of it. Even those things that our mind would judge as bad. And I can see right now some of the things that I have judged myself for this morning, that my mind was judging. I can see that how my expressing it and my being present with it and just allowing it to flow on by, and not rejecting it in any way, just being a part of it, allowing it to do what it needs to do, there can be peace in that as well. I feel kind of like this la 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 la, this, it sounds a bit airy-fairy what I'm sharing. But in a way, it is a bit airy-fairy. It's a bit airy-fairy in that there's this lightness to it. There is this ease about flowing with life, flowing with God. And it does seem airy-fairy from, just this effortlessness to it. But we cannot experience this effortlessness when we are looking to our mind for all the solutions and answers and all the thinking. And the mind can think in ways that are helpful, but not from a psychological point of view. We can use the mind to calculate wonderful things. It can be very, very beautiful and very helpful. But it also can be incredibly damaging. And I feel like I want to say to you that you are this beautiful, perfect, divine love and light. And I almost hate to say light because I don't want it to be anything physical whatsoever. It has to be beyond emptiness even. That it's no thing. I don't know what you'll get from all of what I'm sharing. If you'll get anything, I don't know. But there's something called, and I feel that I'm in a flow with the words coming through, with the expressions coming through. And so I can only have trust and faith that somehow, some way, it's permeating beyond your mind, and there's something that you can connect with as we continue to let go of all those things that we are not. And right now I just invite you to let go of all those old stories of who you have thought yourself to be. Letting go of all those old stories that have limited what you have been able to accomplish. And the truth self does not need to accomplish one single thing to be itself. It simply is. And that requires no doingness whatsoever. None whatsoever. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't need to do anything. Don't just believe me on this. I'm not interested in adding more beliefs. I'm just offering some possibilities to you. That's all. The possibility of expanding back into the innocence, the freedom, the oneness, and of course the love, peace, and joy that you are, the truth that you are. And as long as we're carrying old beliefs, we will only be able to accomplish that which we believe to be true. So what if you let go of all the beliefs? The belief that says I can't fly, the belief that says I can't raise somebody from the dead, the belief that says I can't walk on water or heal the blind or raise the dead. The belief that would have you believe that you can't move mountains. And the Bible says, just with the faith of a mustard seed. The mustard seed, you ever seen a mustard seed? They're very tiny. Just with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't too loud in your ears. You can move mountains. What? You know the mind cannot fathom that because it's not logical. We have to go beyond the logic. That's the only way we can accomplish what the mind would describe as the impossible. And my teacher once said, when you move beyond the limiting beliefs of the mind, there is absolutely nothing you can't accomplish. And if you want to touch the far side of the moon, you can touch the far side of the moon. If you want to see the ends of the galaxy, you can see the ends of the galaxy. Don't limit yourself, my friends. It's not necessary to limit yourself in any way. And how do you do that? By letting go of all beliefs. Letting go of all beliefs. Letting go of all of it. So that you can reconnect with that pure innocence of who you are. That formless, non-physical, empty awareness. The one who is aware of my voice, of your thoughts, of your body, of your feelings. But awareness, again, does not require any form or anything physical. It doesn't require anything physical to just be aware of any thought that you have, any feeling, any sound, any... You are conscious awareness. But again, I'm not saying that for you to believe me. I'm just inviting you to explore. That's all. And so just bringing your conscious awareness to your breath. Just simply noticing it as it gently comes in and gently flows out. And usually when we do this, the mind gets busy. And in fact, after this retreat of deep presence, deep conscious awareness, my mind has gotten very busy. Why? Because it can't help to get busy, because when you are so deeply conscious aware, you become conscious and aware of all those thoughts that are not who you are. And so the journey begins. And I almost hate to say journey because that implies some type of time. And your true self is timeless. It's beyond time. But for the purposes of this meditation, we have to speak in a way that we can all understand. But when we become more conscious and aware, those thoughts that stand, those beliefs that stand in the way of being complete conscious awareness, pure conscious awareness, those thoughts and beliefs will present themselves perfectly and wonderfully, because you need to release those so that you can be fully rooted and fully be the truth of who you are. So sometimes when you become conscious and aware, it doesn't get easier in some ways, because your mind can get very busy as your pure consciousness is supporting you on releasing all these old thoughts and beliefs that stand in the way of pure truth. But what's also true is, because you have the tools to be conscious and aware that it's just a thought, it's just a feeling, there is an ease behind all of it. There can be an ease behind all of it as you become aware of it and you recognize that is not real, it is not who I am, and I'm simply going to allow this to pass on by. Not rejecting it, not trying to push it away or get rid of it, simply a recognition and an awareness that it is not the truth of who you are. And so just coming back to being conscious and aware of your breath. This perfectly sweet breath that happens over and over and over in support of you, that requires nothing from you. No trying, no doing, no effort. And this meditation does not require any of that as well. All you're doing is simply being aware of all of it. And when a thought presents itself, simply notice it and just allow it to pass on by, and come back to being aware of your breath. Come back to the present moment and back to who you are, the one who is aware of all of it. And let's practice that. And I just want to be a living example right now again. And my mind continues, the thought continues to pop in. I don't know if anyone got anything out of this meditation. Did I do a very good job? Again, who is the I? Did I do a good job? Can I simply be aware of that thought, recognizing that it is of the mind, and allowing it to pass on by? And why is that thought presenting itself? That thought is presenting itself because there's part of me that still believes, my ego part, there's still a part of my ego that believes that to be true. And as long as I believe it to be true, it will continue to present itself, which is absolutely perfect. Because I need to keep emptying out that thought, that belief that blocks me from recognizing that it's all perfect, and blocks me from recognizing who I am, which is beyond any belief that I am not enough. And just coming back to being aware of your breath. And let me also just say that as this thought continues to present itself, there's a part of me that I'm noticing is buying into it as if it's the truth. That too is observed. Yeah, I'm having the thought, I don't know if this was a good meditation. I recognize the thought, and there's a part of me that is still believing that thought. Can I observe that thought as well and allow that to pass on by? Yeah, I can believe that, but you know there's something true in there, Brett. You know there's still some truth in that. Can that be observed? The only reason there can be any stress to this thought at all is if I'm believing part of it rather than being a witness to it. Now, if you feel like there's something you're still hooking into, that it's the truth, don't resist it. Just simply notice it. Just notice it, and it's all perfect. And sometimes what I have to do is just to be present with that feeling. If it doesn't release, I can still be present with it and just allow it to resist. And sometimes it might bring up the pain behind it, and that's okay too. Just allow the pain to be there. But we're offering no resistance, no fight, no struggle. It's all absolutely perfect. And now just coming back to being aware of the breath once again. And if your mind has drifted, just simply come back to being aware of your breath. once again, just returning to being a witness to your breath. No fights, no struggles with the thoughts or feelings. Just simply witness them and come back to observing your breath. Just coming back to being aware of your breath, which brings you back to the present moment and back home to who you are, the one who is consciously aware of your breath, aware of your thoughts, aware of your body, aware of it all. And just coming back again to the breath, back to the present moment, and just watching your breath. just recognizing what time it is. It's actually 11:06, so thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to bring this meditation to completion. However, if any of you want to continue meditating, please do so. Please mute or turn your device off. And thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath. And just making sure you're fully utilizing this, rooted and grounded in this physical body that helps to get us around in this life. And stretching, moving a little bit. And taking your time and just opening your eyes whenever you're ready. And I'm going to take a peek over and see who we got on Facebook. And I see we got somebody on YouTube as well. So let's see in this physical body that helps to get us around in this life. Let me mute this. I'm sorry. Stretching, move. There we go. Let's see. So Nancy Gibney, thanks Brett for another uplifting meditation. Thanks for joining, Nancy. I appreciate it. Hope you have a beautiful day, my friend. Michelle, happy birthday, Brett. Great meditation. You are the gift that keeps on giving. Energizer Bunny. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And Mindy, oh, nice to have you here, Mindy. Nice to have you here. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Have a beautiful day. And let's see, I think that's all of it. And so I'm going to scoot over to YouTube and see who we have over there. I'm going to scoot over to, and I'll turn the volume off there. And let's see, Sandy, empty awareness and deep gratitude is my takeaway. I stay empty so I can hear the divine guidance, such as what is next for me. Good. Yeah, good, Sandy. And oh yeah, happy birthday. Thank you, my friend. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you joining me. And I know there's maybe one other person that was out there too. Thank you for joining as well. And you never, of course, have to reveal who's out there. I'm glad there's a space to just be anonymous so you can come in when you want to. But thank you. I still feel very grateful for you joining. So have a beautiful day, everybody. And I'll see some of you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Namaste, my friends.